Dancing, high fly ball, deep right field, a bomb in the first. Drive, it's tied. Corey Seager smashes the ball down the line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field, waiting back there. Gone again. Corey Seager does it again. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager!
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you right after the final. Texas back on track at home against the San Jose State Spartans. Hook 'em Horns. Sark getting interviewed right now post-game. Horns definitely getting back on track. You feel like there's still things to work on, but obviously you get your first home win of the season. Texas now 25-1 in home openers since 2000. Good to get back on track. We're going to talk a lot of college football today. Obviously, in games like this early in the season, this is what's expected. We are definitely going to pick apart some of the key individual performances. Arch Manning getting interviewed now. Arch a little up and down today. Still feel like he's a little bit gun shy back there. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I feel like still just a little hesitant letting that ball rip downfield. There were a few times he had receivers open, you felt like, and either passed up for a shorter route or passed up to run. Arch did have two turnovers today. Well, let's see. He had the interception. I know he fumbled it as well. It's blurring together a little bit for me at this point. But look, a huge win, getting back on track. 4 touchdowns, 295 yards through the air. Arch Manning had. Parker Livingston, you had 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jack Endries, 2 touchdowns as well, 2 receptions. Not a bad day. 2 tutties and 2 catches, man. Absolutely. Good stuff. CJ Baxter, 64 yards on the ground. Look, this is what you're supposed to do. San Jose State lost their first week, and this game, just a game to get back on track. And you feel good. Texas has a few games here coming up before you get into SEC play. Really get tuned up before you start getting into that gauntlet. I think Florida is the one that opens it up in the Swamp in October. But this month of September, you're going to be playing some lesser competition. You don't take anybody for granted, but you definitely need to take care of business, continue to work to get this offense more and more in sync. Just doesn't quite look like it's there yet. I think it's going to get there, but just not quite looking in sync at this moment in time. Texas wins 38-7, improves to 1-1 on the year. We're going to break this down. We're going to get into some of the individual statistics. Like I said, highlight some individual performances, and then we're kind of going to go around the league a little bit too. That's kind of the fun part about some of these games. It kind of allows us to look around the league. What are other teams doing, especially in the SEC? Got a few games still going on right now. A&M is playing Utah State 44-14. Not very competitive. UGA playing Austin P 14-3, going to halftime. And then you've got a couple others too. Let me see. Which one did I just see? Maybe not. See if there's any others. A couple of games just starting out. Mizzou and Kansas are just starting. And you got a couple others that are going to be kicking off pretty quickly here. So we'll keep our eye on some of the scores from around the league. Let's see. No big matchups in the early window from what it looks like. I mean, you had a couple that were slightly intriguing. I mean, nothing like Texas, Ohio State, but we'll keep our eye on the scoreboard a little bit. We'll take a lot of comments and questions today. Felt like last week with Ohio State, it was tough. We were live during the game. I know I missed a lot of your guys' comments, so I'm going to try and get to it. Mark, what's going on? Understand Arch got to get some games under his belt, but this is what people were crying for. Mark, you talking about last year? I mean, look, a lot of people were talking about Arch Manning last year. getting to play. And I do think, I can admit, Quinn at times would look a little bit uneasy. I personally was on the side of, can we get Arch Manning in a little bit more? I think that they would have done well to get him in a bit more last year, especially in some of the package plays. I really thought that worked well when you had Quinn being the primary and you had Arch coming in short yardage, Arch coming in third down, fourth down. I like that. But yeah, I do think the idea, the concept that, it should have been Arch last year. Looking back, I can see times where I thought, hey, maybe you do need to give Arch a shot. And it just looks like he's got a lot to learn. I don't think he's a bust. I don't think we need to go too far. I think the hype was just so high that when you don't see him look flawless against the San Jose State, you're starting to get a little bit worried. I feel pretty good about where Arch is at. You've got really 2 games under your belt. Today looked a lot better. Clearly, you don't want to see him turn the ball over. But I thought today looked a lot better from Arch, and I think that you're going to continue to see the offense to really develop over this next month, over September, and then hopefully we'll be looking much, much closer to 100% when SEC play begins. So that's my take on Arch. I think there's going to be this game-to-game reaction on him. I think you have to take it back to square one. Arch has not had that much time under center with Texas yet. And it's just not going to happen overnight. I think that with the line being pretty new as well, there's a lot of new faces on this Texas team. On the defensive side, I feel like you've got a few more guys that really have been around the block. I feel like the offense, you've just got so many new faces, man. And so I think it is definitely going to take a second. By the way, Michigan, Oklahoma is probably kind of the big game today. Feels like that's kind of the biggest game today at this point, Michigan, Oklahoma. That game is going to be, in the 6 o'clock slot, the 6:30 slot? There you go. That should be a fun one. Don't know if I'll be watching that. I'll probably be watching Rangers-Astros. We'll flip to baseball mode later on today. But that'll be a good game, I think. Michigan, Oklahoma. Go Wolverines, man. You already know. Go Wolverines. That sure would be nice. I would enjoy watching them beat up on OU, but it might be the other way around. We'll see. Mateer had 3 touchdowns, 392 yards. OU quarterback. I mean, granted, it was against Illinois State, but let's see how Michigan does. Both teams 1-0. Let's go ahead and let's check out the box score from our game today, though. Check in, see how everybody did on each side of the ball. So we'll get to that here in just a second here. Again, appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thank you so much. Baylor versus SMU, good game. Nobody important. I think that OU being at home definitely has a pretty good shot to take this one. I mean, look, you see the hat, you see the shirt. Obviously, I don't want OU to win the game, but I definitely think at this point, you're playing at home. You got some good momentum. Quarterback's coming off a real good game. Lewis had a nice game out wide for OU. I definitely think that they are a better team this year than what they were last year. That's for sure. We keep on rolling. All right, let me see. What the heck, man? I'm trying to pull up the full scoreboard here. My computer is just going crazy slow. But we know Arch almost gets to 300 yards. Definitely was involved through the air a little bit as well. But we have some things that we're going to break down. Arch, of course, going to be the subject of a lot of scrutiny from game to game, man. Feel bad for the kid. I feel bad. Although I did appreciate the stat. I don't know if you guys saw the stat. They put up like Peyton Manning's first game in college, and then they put up Arch Manning's first game. I like that the comp. Like, look, even the great ones, they did not have an instantaneous fast start. I do think Arch is kind of going to follow that. Look, today, 19 of 30. So you're completing a little bit under 67% of your passes, 295 yards, averaged about 10 yards per pass, 4 touchdowns, an interception. Caldwell got in the game late in the fourth quarter. They benched Arch. Obviously, you get that 38-7. And look, if anything happens to Arch Manning, you don't want Caldwell to be totally cold. So it makes a lot of sense to me. CJ Baxter took the brunt of the carries today, 13 carries, 64 yards. Jarrett Gibson, 7 carries, 38 yards as well. So you had a ground game that gained over 150 yards once again. It's impressive. Absolutely impressive. And I do think that they will continue to do this throughout the season. You see Sark set it up a lot. The run game is essential. You get a lot of guys involved in the passing game as well. So good to see this rush attack go over $150. We're going to continue to highlight some other offensive players as well. Parker Livingston seems like he's going to be the favorite target. Had the 83-yard catch earlier on, 128 yards. He was targeted often in that first game, and it looks like that was the case tonight as well. Look, only 4 receptions. That was the most. You had Moore and Wingo each with 4 receptions as well. Nobody was over 4. 317 yards through the air. It's good stuff. Taft led the team in tackles, 8 total tackles. Anthony Hill Jr., 6 tackles as well. Good stuff, man. Smith was up there too. You had, 2 sacks on the day, 3 tackles for losses, 8 pass deflections. Defense was flying around all over the place. I mean, this is one of the best defenses in the country. Hook 'em horns, man. I do think style points matter. I mean, I'm with you on that, Fantasy Life, but look, 38-7 is 38-7. I don't think anybody is turning up their nose at a game like this, man. It's 38-7. Shoot. I mean, look, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. We have got, a lot of teams this month that are subpar. Definitely not anywhere near the level of what we played the first week, but I don't think you have to win 70-7. That's just not the Horn style. I mean, look, they're going to put up 40, 50 points at times, but this is a team that loves to run the ball, loves to eat up clock. I just don't think you're going to see these massive differences. It's just the way that they play the game. It really is. We keep going here. I'll continue to check comments here and there throughout. Appreciate all you guys. Yep, 4 takeaways, all in the first half. Yep, Christopher, SMU, and Baylor, good game. We kind of got our eye on it a little bit right now. Tommy, good game, man. If you're still hanging out, good game, brother. Yeah, we almost had you guys. CeeDee Lamb, bricks for hands, man. Couldn't get it done in the fourth quarter. That was brutal to watch. Brutal. We definitely, I mean, look, I think it probably showed out better than a lot of people thought we were going to on Thursday night talking Cowboys here. That was brutal to watch those drops. Appreciate the follow, by the way. Thank you so much. Talking about a 38-7 Texas Longhorns victory in the home opener over the San Jose State Spartans. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. By the way, Wisner was ruled out today for the home opener. I know a couple of you guys were asking about Wisner as well. So it looked like, I mean, I remember after the Ohio State game, I thought that Sark was on the record saying that there wasn't really any major injuries to report. But Wisner, one of multiple Longhorns that was out for the opener today, and the coaching staff basically said they held out Wisner for precautionary reasons. Defensive tackle, January, Colin Page. Let's see, who else was out? Coleman was another lineman that was out. Mosley, the Stanford transfer, he missed his second straight game. So, look, you definitely had a few guys, I think, just getting held out for precautionary reasons. It makes a ton of sense. I really don't see in a game like this against San Jose State, just no reason you need to push anybody. So, Wisner out for some precautionary reasons. I definitely think that's the right thing to do. I know some of y'all were asking about that a little bit earlier on. Appreciate the follow. Hey, Sean, appreciate that, man. Yeah, we just went over 10K a couple nights ago during the Cowboys game. It was phenomenal. So, look, I could not be happier. Thank you so much to everybody for your support of the show. We got a small crowd today on TikTok. Look, it's kind of that weird time. A lot of football going on right now. And, of course, Longhorns with the game that they just had today. It's not like it was must-see television for the diehards. Of course, we're locked in. But, yeah, look, we hope we definitely have some good games ahead of us. I would like to see Texas really begin to look more and more in sync as they get closer to that SEC opener. A Cal Raleigh comp, even on a Longhorn show. I love it. I love it. Hey, like I always say, keep comparing me to millionaires and MVP candidates. I will take it. What are the Red Raiders doing right now, Sean? What are they doing right now? I got to get on the scoreboard here. I was looking up some Wisner stuff the other just a couple of seconds ago. What's going on? Let's get this scoreboard up from around the league, man. Time for us to start turning our attention to some other games while we continue to work in a few different points on the horns. I got Ole Miss, Kentucky up right now. This is what came on after the Texas game. By the way, look, it looks like Georgia is going to go up 21-3 here. They got the ball at the 1 yard line. I had one of my buddies, Greg, I don't know if you're hanging out. I had one of my buddies giving me a hard time about Texas' slow start. Georgia only up 14-3 right now on Austin Peay. Come on, man. Ohio State playing Grambling. Troy is up on Clemson right now, 7-0. Troy's up on Clemson. Okay. Clemson, man. Having a tough time. Tell you what, you just don't know how all these teams are, what they really are coming out of the gate sometimes. So, look, it is 45-44 Baylor and SMU. We're in OT right now, or is this game over? Was that game? So it's game 45-44, or it's an OT? Quite the game, man. Go SMU. I mean, look, I can't say that I'm a big fan of either team, although SMU I like to keep my eye on just because they're in the DFW area. So I'd love to see SMU. Would love to see SMU here. SMU is going to tie it up, it looks like. 45-45. Okay, good. Can't get this one on. I guess I could probably pull up my YouTube TV, but no, I'm just going to keep it locked right here. All right, we keep rolling here. That's going to be a good finish. That's probably is the best game today, at least in terms of competitiveness, man. Top 25, Florida's playing South Florida. Utah plays Cal Poly. Miami plays Bethune-Cookman. That should be a good one. South Carolina State plays South Carolina. LSU and Louisiana Tech. Arizona State, Mississippi State. We already talked Michigan OU. Illinois beat Duke. Penn State shut out Florida International. Look, Penn State only won 34-0. So, again, anybody saying style points, I don't know. I don't think in this particular day and age in college football, I don't think style points matter as much if you're a big team like Texas or like Penn State. I mean, I think if you're winning games and you're winning them handedly like Texas did today, like Penn State did today, I think style points are more important for some of the fringe teams. I really do not think style points are going to be as pivotal for a team like Texas or Penn State. You win and you shut out a team 34-0. You win 38-7. I don't think anybody is scoffing at a victory like that. Dan, what's good, man? We're warming up for Rangers Astros later on tonight, baby. You know what? I would be pretty hesitant, Dan, especially because you've got Overshown. Speaking of the Texas Longhorns, right? You got Overshown coming back. I don't think that they are going to make any crazy deals to replace Micah. I think when Overshown comes back, he's really dynamic. We know that well from watching him at Texas all those years. I'm excited for him to come back. I think he is going to be that Parsons-type player. Now, if he can just stay on the field. Texas didn't look good. I don't know how you can say that. The defense gave up 7 total points. I mean, the offense is built to be a little ground and pound anyways. This is how Texas is going to play. You're not going to see Texas spread the ball out all over the yard. They didn't really do that with Quinn Ewers. It's not like when Quinn was manning it that they were just this air raid aerial attack. They're very much ground and pound. They like the quick passes. They like to control the ball. They like to control the clock. It's definitely not ever going to be this aerial attack with Sark. You just haven't seen that really ever. And so anybody saying they didn't look good, 38-7, not impressive, it's just not how they play. They don't play to score 75 or 80 on a team. They play to control the clock, run the ball, high completion, high percentage throws. And Arch definitely has to be better. 19-30, you'd love to see that number get a little higher, especially for as many quick passes as Sark has designed in this Texas offense. Mozzie Smith, yeah, is definitely, I mean, a disappointing draft pick, I think, so far. I said it a couple of years ago. I mean, every time I've come out critical of the Cowboys draft picks, people start to get in their feelings. I mean, look, Mozzie Smith, even Schoonmaker, I mean, I know that people have said he's done okay in the blocking game, and I know they had him running some routes on Thursday night. That draft class minus Overshown was not a very good one. Overshown probably the best one there. Randy, hook 'em, baby. Derek, you talking about Arch? Yeah, Luis, I hope that you have Arch for 2 years too. From everything I've heard, I think that is the plan. I believe that is the plan for Arch to go 2 years. I think he would really have to kill it this year in order for the Longhorns and, you know, in order for Arch and his family to feel good about something like that. I actually think Sark is going to encourage Arch to do whatever is best for him. He just strikes me as that kind of guy. But unless Arch just really lights it up, I think that they are probably on a 2-year plan with him. Appreciate the follows, by the way. I'm not watching this SMU game. Y'all going to have to keep me posted on the SMU game for sure. Double overtime right now. What do we got here? Harden having a good game for SMU. 3 tutties, 115 yards on the ground. Good for him. Good for him. Where did he just transfer from? He was in the I thought he was a transfer for whatever reason. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But Harden's having an incredible game. 3 touchdowns. It's 45-38 Baylor right now. SMU, man, not a good game to drop. Not a good game to drop. They got to get this one. Yeah, Stone LA, it appears that way right now. What channel is this on? What channel is this on? I might try and get this one on. I got the iPad in front of me. Can somebody help me out on that? I'm not going to put it up. Y'all know I'm not trying to get any strikes against the account, but let me know what channel it's on. I'll try and pull it up so I can watch it with y'all. We're going to hang out, by the way. We're planning on hanging out for about an hour or so today. We're at 25 minutes right now, so we're hanging out for about 35 more. Talking Longhorns. You got anything that you want to add in about the Longhorns game? Anything like that? Hey, Matt, let's see how y'all do against the Wolverines later today, baby. Let's see what y'all got. I have been hearing a lot of OU fans very confident, feeling pretty good. Let's see what they got against Michigan, man. Not that Michigan is, you know, the cream of the crop at this point, but I think it is going to be a big test. Hey, Brick, who are y'all? Y'all got Grambling, right? I was 7-0 last time I checked. Thanks for hopping by. That's what I hear. Mateer is pretty good. He had a nice game against Illinois State. I mean, look, should have a good game against a team like Illinois State. Let's see how he does. As a diehard LSU fan and a native Louisianan, I hope Arch does good. Well, look, I mean, it makes sense. His family's got roots in those parts. It makes a lot of sense. I hope he does well. But look, the expectations are just so insane for Arch Manning right now. They really are. You know, I think people have got to taper it just a little bit, man. Just a little bit. Arch just has some crazy expectations at this point. All right, let me see. Can I get a little split screen here? Let's see. I love I can get the quad view here. Oh, good, I got it. I had to go quad view. Look, I know some of y'all don't pay for like YouTube TV and all that. I had to break down and get it done. Sometimes you just get tired of having to do the VPN streaming BS. I had to break down and just get the YouTube TV subscription. I'm sorry. I mean, I still got my ways here and there in a pinch, but Look, yeah, this is fun. I got 4 screens. I got Oklahoma State, Oregon. I got a little Ole Miss, Kentucky. I got Baylor, SMU. I love how they do this on YouTube TV. This is great. G-Man, who you talking about? Good to see you, though, my guy. Yeah, look, YouTube TV is pretty solid. Yeah, RIP Stream East. I saw some hilarious content coming out about Stream East, by the way. I know y'all probably saw that too, those of you guys that know Stream East and have used it in the past. Like, it is wild. Like, I'm sorry. Don't you think they've got anything better to do than track down 2 dudes in Egypt running Stream East? I mean, look, I know what's wrong is wrong, but come on now. I think the world has bigger problems than 2 guys in Egypt running Stream East. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Tonio, they're never going to put up 75 on a team. I really don't know a whole lot. I mean, what else you're expecting? Like, I know a lot of people. Only 38, only 30. He only threw 4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. He's mid. He threw a pick. I mean, I don't get it. This team is, and we're talking about the Longhorns here, this team is built to control the clock, to play really, really elite defense, to have high completion throws. I mean, yes, they air it out, and they definitely send the ball downfield. Arch definitely a little gun shy, I think, throwing the ball deep. Doesn't want to make a mistake, doesn't want to get picked. But this team is not ever going to be an air raid, man. It's never going to be this robust aerial attack. You are just going to see them do what they've done every year that Sark has been in control, and that is you have a tough run game. You have lots of quick throws and very high completion throws as that. And you have a really elite defense. So anybody that is, really getting down on Texas, only doing 38-7, you just don't know. And Antonio, I'm not getting on you, man. Don't take it the wrong way. I've seen this a lot. It's just anybody that thinks 38-7 isn't that impressive. You clearly have no clue what the philosophy is of this team. I mean, can they put up 50? Could they put up 60? Yes. But the main thing that they like to do is control the clock and play elite defense. Stone LA, that's my point. I mean, it's just not how it works in the SEC. You got to control the clock. You've got to have an elite defense. You got to have a run game. And that is the emphasis. So, look, they get over 150 on the ground as a team today. Arch almost throws for 300 yards. Yes, he probably could have been a little bit sharper, could have made improvements. Not saying Arch was perfect today. I think he still looks a little gun shy at times, but let's not pretend like he was terrible. The dude averaged 10 yards a throw and had 4 tutties. I think at some point we're being a little too picky. Colorado, Delaware. Man, I know that I've said this already, but I just love this quad view, all these games at once, man. This is incredible. This is the first time I've really gotten to enjoy YouTube TV on a college football Saturday, and I just really like it. Again, if I have to use, one of the other streaming services in a pinch, I will. But I just got tired of having to deal with some of the buffering, setting up the VPN, blah, blah, blah. So I just broke down and got it done. Arch is the Robert Garcia of college football. Let's break down that analogy a little bit. Let's see. RG obviously was really good last night. I cannot say RG was ever hyped up as much as Arch Manning, though. So I don't know if it's a perfect analogy, my guy. I'm down for a good Rangers comp anytime. Anytime we can compare. But you'd have to compare Arch Manning to one of our big-time prospects that is definitely performing well but has his struggles. It's probably a better comp to do like a Wyatt Langford. Langford has been incredible at times this season, and you see the potential, but he has had his struggles as well. At the beginning of the season, he had his struggles. He's looking good right now. I think Langford's probably a little bit of a better comp at this point. Rangers isn't going to be till later tonight, Max, just so you know, man. This is college football Longhorn show right now. I'll get on later tonight and I'll do Rangers Astros. So no hard feelings if you got to take off or if you don't want to hang out. But this is primarily going to be Longhorns talk, college football talk. We got all the games up right now. Loving this. So, hey, we'll talk whatever you want. I'm going to be checking comments a lot, which reminds me, let me get back to YouTube a little bit here. Hey, Tonio, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Best case scenario for DeGrom tonight, I think 7 innings probably is the best case. I've got to say, I think 7 innings probably is your best case scenario. All right, let me check the text score here. What do we got going on? Let me pull up another tab with like the full scoreboard here. Here's the thing. I got to get out of top 25 mode. I just got to go to the Big 12. I don't want to sift through all these out of conference games. Just give me the Big 12 scoreboard here. There we go. 62-14. Okay, but Kent State. I mean, look, I hear you. 48-0 at the half is impressive, though. Sean, I'm going to give you that. 48-0 is absolutely impressive at the half, man. I will give you that 100%. Look, it is Kent State, but 48-0 at halftime deserves some love for sure. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm going to miss like that Texas Tech game. Last year, it was nice to have the A&M game back. I liked the Texas Tech matchup. I got to be real. Like Baylor, Texas doesn't do anything for me. Texas against Kansas State doesn't do anything for me. But I do miss the Texas Tech matchup 100%. It's a good in-state. I don't want to say it's a rivalry per se, but it's just a good in-state game. And that game has been played for so long. I don't think Texas Tech is ever going to come to the SEC, but nevertheless, it's a game I definitely miss. Yeah, I think you're right. It was 2 or 3 years ago, Sean. Ole Miss and Kentucky, I got them up right now. 0-0, 8.5 left in the first quarter. Baylor, by the way, beats SMU, man. That stinks. That sucks, man. Not a Baylor guy, and I'm not really like, in this case, like I like the upset. Sometimes I like the upset. I know Baylor wasn't ranked, SMU number 17, but that one hurts at home, man. That really hurts. It was 24-24 going into the fourth quarter. That one hurts. If you're SMU, that's a big hit. You definitely had to do some running of the table, I think, if you're an SMU and want to get into that playoff. Appreciate the follow, Jeff. Thank you, sir. 12 penalties was the worst of the day today. Look, not disciplined, right? Got to be a little bit sharper in that area. You go to the team stats today. By the way, just like Andrew did, throw out whatever you got on the game today. We'll talk about it. We are definitely rolling through some of the other scores around the league, but anything you want to talk about. Here's a couple of stats. This actually leads me into one of the segments I wanted to do in the second half of the show, which we're approaching right now. Third down efficiency was not good today. I don't know if any of you guys noticed this. Horns were 2 for 12 on third down. Now, they were 2 for 2 on fourth down, but I got to say, you'd love to see the efficiency on third down improve. 2 for 12 on third is just not great. You did have some explosive plays today, but got to get better in that department. Have to get better. 2 for 12 on third down is ridiculous. 12 penalties for 115 yards. Yeah, you would absolutely love to see them clean up some of this. There is stuff to improve on. Look, Texas, it was pretty even with time of possession. Pretty even. Texas did lose a fumble, and they did have an interception as well. It was Arch Manning who threw the interception, obviously, and then it was Gibson that lost the fumble. Arch Manning had a fumble as well that was recovered by the offense, but Jarrett Gibson fumbling it. You'd like to clean up the turnovers. You would love to clean up the penalties, and you've got to be better on third down. Have to be better on third down. I think Wisner does change the game. CG, appreciate you, my guy. I think Wisner definitely changes the game. And for any of you guys that did not get keyed in on that, they held out Wisner for precautionary reasons. They did not want to risk anything with Wisner against a San Jose State team. I don't blame them. So anybody that was wondering where's Wisner at, they decided to hold him out, precautionary reasons. He's definitely going to be a guy that is going to have a significant workload. Look, he went 16 carries for 80 yards in the opener. And so he's going to be heavily involved. But I just think against San Jose State, why risk it, right? Why would you risk it? But Wisner, I think, definitely would have made a difference. Alex January also didn't play. Those are two starters right there. The defense was fine. January, obviously, a tackle. Defensive tackle, but Wisner not being in the game. Look, they still rushed for $150. I mean, nothing to be nothing shabby at all. But seriously, look, I did a lot of perusing. I missed it on the broadcast. Did anybody see what the Wisner injury actually was? Like, I heard he was out. I heard he wasn't going to play. But then when I open up every article, it doesn't really tell you what was ailing him. So I just don't know if I'm going to be able to find it for y'all. If anybody's wondering, all I could see that they're being held out was for precautionary issues. That's the only thing I'm seeing. So I'd imagine he'll be back again soon. But yeah, precautionary reasons, I guess. Great game today. I don't know which one you're talking about, TLBL. I'm hoping it's Horns. But yeah, great game today. Great game. What are we talking, Cowboys here? Yeah, Cowboys were much more disciplined. Longhorns with 12 penalties today compared to the Cowboys. Yeah, Longhorns definitely lacking a little bit of discipline. And look, you only had 2 starters out. I think this is one of those games where you win 38-7, but the coaches just have a lot of content to go off of this week in practice. You love that. You got UTSA coming up, by the way, for the Horns. UTSA going to be coming to Austin. Right up the road. UTSA had a pretty good game with Texas. What was that? Was that a couple of years ago? Was it a couple of years ago? It was like fourth quarter, and we were either like, it was like a one-possession game, and then we had the pick six that kind of widened it out a little bit. But UTSA had a pretty good game against us. I think it was a couple of years ago. I think it was in 23. Last year, we totally blew them out of the water. I mean, last year was, 56-7. Ooh. Hello. We are, by the way, I think at home again against, this is UTEP. My bad. UTEP. Sorry about that. Read it a little bit too fast. UTEP. UTSA, though, was the game where we were within a possession, and then we had that pick six that widened it out. UTEP, though, is who we've got next week. My mistake on that one. UTEP, by the way, they lost 28-16 to Utah State, and they are playing UT Martin. They're playing Tennessee Martin tonight at 6, so we'll see how they do there. But UTEP, the next opponent for the Texas Longhorns, and looks like that is going to be a 1:15 game, so afternoon game. Texas will get beat by all the other SEC teams, please. Please. The only real opponent, I got to say, that I'm super worried about, I mean, look, I know a lot of people are talking noise about OU. The only team that I'm really super worried about in the SEC, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry if I got muted there. The only team I'm really worried about in the SEC on the schedule is Georgia. I know that some OU fans are probably going to clap back at me. I need to see a little bit more from OU before I get super worried. So let's see how they do today. I'm just not worried about OU quite yet. I know there's a lot of hype, better defense, quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I got to see how they hold up against some of these teams in the month of September. Let's see how they do today. I think it's a little too early to be crowning OU as this legitimate contender in the SEC. I got to see it. I'm not convinced quite yet. Not convinced. Scotty, we settled this last year. I'm ready for those two teams to play each other. But again, I'll say this. I say this every show because everybody always tries to give me crap for the hat, which is so clearly Texas. By the way, there's the beautiful Texas flag, if anybody was wondering. Nobody, unless you are a Tennessee fan or you are a rival of Tennessee, nobody thinks of UT as Tennessee. Nobody. Everybody around the country thinks UT Texas. The only people that think UT is Tennessee are people that cheer for Tennessee and people that are rivals of Tennessee. That's it. That's it. Nobody else around the country thinks that UT is Tennessee. I'm sorry. Scotty, totally get it, but I just got to make my point anyways, brother. Yeah, I agree with Sean, though. It isn't the same shade. That Tennessee orange is much lighter than this, so I got to agree. And look, the camera's pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. I mean, look, it's I think pretty true right now. It's a lot more burnt. Nah. Nobody, I'll say it again, nobody thinks UT Tennessee unless you play there. Nobody. How about them Longhorns, baby? Yes, sir. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. We're so far so good with the show. We are just watching some other college football games right now. Ole Miss 0-0 with Kentucky. We just finished out that Baylor SMU game. That was a good one. Unfortunate SMU doesn't get it done. Look, I grew up in the DFW area. For anybody that is coming in brand new to the show, grew up in the DFW area. I live out in Vegas now at this point. I've been out here for about 15 years or so. Basically, after college, came out here, came out west. Didn't think I'd be out here very long. And the rest is history 15 years later, right? But grew up in Texas, grew up in Arlington, and really pretty much DFW teams, Rangers, Cowboys, Mavericks, a big Longhorns fans in the family. Didn't go to Texas. I know that's kind of a thing, like some people get real uppity about it. Definitely had the offer on the table. Wasn't going to be playing ball or anything like that, but I actually went to a real small college, played baseball, got school paid for, could have gone to Texas, but wanted to play baseball after high school was done. Wanted to have school paid for as much as possible. So I know that's kind of a thing among some fans. Like, if you didn't go there, why are you a fan? Like, I think it's pretty stupid myself, but that's kind of the connection. But a lot of family grew up cheering, rooting for, and attending the University of Texas. So it's in the blood, in the fam, and been a lifelong Longhorn Rangers fan, all that good stuff. We keep rolling. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Yeah, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. Appreciate all you. LSU looks pretty solid. That defense is fast. Yeah, LSU is definitely going to be a pretty solid team in the SEC this year. Hey, Scotty, who's your team, baby? Tennessee? Is that who your team is? What happened to Anthony Hill? I didn't know if they came out with a report yet. I didn't know if they came out with anything. I did not see that, y'all. I got to admit, I was running around, especially in the second half, doing a few things around the house. Had the game on in the background. Did he get nicked up a little bit? Opinions on Illinois versus Duke. Look, Illinois 45-19, looking pretty good. I mean, I don't know if Duke is a great measuring stick for Illinois at this point. But look, 45-19, you took care of business, didn't you? Illinois, number 11 in the country. Who do they have coming up, though? I mean, surely they've got to have a big matchup coming up pretty soon. Do they have to play Ohio State this year at some point? Let's see what we got for a schedule here. I'm just kind of curious now. They play Indiana after Western Michigan. So in a couple weeks, they play Indiana. They got to play USC. Yeah, they play Ohio State. Looks like about 5 weeks from now. So, I mean, it's going to be determined pretty quickly here. All right, we got, let's see, Fresno State, Oregon State. I don't know about this game. I'd love for them to replace this one. Ole Miss, Kentucky, though. We have got, looks like, 0-0, 2.5 minutes left. And we have got, looks like Kentucky threatening to score here. 2nd and goal. Oregon up 20-0 on Oklahoma State. Poor OSU. Poor OSU. Yeah, Rangers, Richie, yes, sir. Great game last night for any of y'all that were hanging out, man. Great game last night. Absolutely. I'm excited for tonight's game. Fox national broadcast, Rangers Astros. We'll be back a little bit later on to talk about it, by the way. If you want to come back and hang out, talk a little MLB, we will be live probably around 6 o'clock my time, so 8 o'clock Texas time. Walk-off yesterday was incredible. It's a great day of sports. Y'all heard me say this is the best time to be a sports fan. I mean, I love pretty much every sport. So, you know, obviously baseball is the first love. Football is like literally like an inch behind. And then basketball, really everything. But we've got starting to be playoff baseball. You got college football heating up. You got NFL heating up. It's just a great time to be a sports fan. Little Rascals, I don't know if I don't know if I'm really a big fan of that. Sean, do you like it? Be honest. It's okay. If you like it, you definitely stand on it. But I don't know how I feel about Little Rascals. Austin, appreciate the follow, man. I like something with kids in it better. Like Comeback Kids. Yeah, I prefer that too. I like that a lot better than Little Rascals, man. Cody Freeman. How old is Cody Freeman? How old is Cody? He's 24 years old. I mean, look, it's definitely still young, but I don't know. I don't like Little Rascals. I don't like Little Rascals. Dan, are you still hanging out? Do you like Little Rascals? Let me know, brother. Dan, if you're still hanging out, or Ben, if you're still hanging out, what do y'all think? I like Comeback Kids a lot better, Sean. All right, we keep going. I love football. I love tradition with NIL. Texas isn't going anywhere. Art should be okay. Bo, 100%. Jake, stupid comment. Do better, buddy. Come on, you got better material than that, man. Sean Bozeman, yes, sir. Future. Future, baby. Future's bright for sure. I mean, look, I think you got to be encouraged. The fact that the Rangers have this many injuries and are still competitive, it's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when Walcott's going to be up, though. He's struggling right now in Double-A. CG, appreciate the comment, man. Does Arch stay another year? I think so. I think a lot of people have kind of surmised that he's on a 2-year plan. I think he would really have to kill it. This year to go to the NFL. I see him doing 2 years. Could be wrong. Let's see what happens, but I definitely see him sticking around for a couple of years. I think that would be better for him, honestly. Any pitchers in AAA we could see soon? I don't think they really have a big plan to bring up any of the AAA arms unless it's somebody like Spores, you know, who is doing some rehabbing down there. Hopefully Tyler Malley comes back soon. What's Alabama doing today? What is Alabama doing today? Appreciate you stopping by, my guy. What's Alabama doing today? Did they just drop completely out of the top 25? I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm really not. Genuinely curious here. Did they drop out of the top 25? Let's go to the SEC scoreboard here. Georgia and Austin Peay is delayed 14-3 Georgia. Wow. Georgia got stuffed at the goal line? Because Georgia was about to score last time I had checked. It wasn't much time left on the clock, but only 14-3. I got to give my buddy Greg a hard time. He was trying to tell me Texas was starting slow against San Jose State. I'm like, dude, it was 28-0 at halftime. What are we doing? Let me see here. Kansas, Missouri, 21-7. What do we got? Bama plays UL Monroe. Well, you should get back on track. UL Monroe, I think you guys will probably get back on track after that one. Hey, DeBob, what do you think of DeBoer? Give me your take on DeBoer, man. I really want to hear what Bama fans are saying about DeBoer. He was such a highly rated coach coming out of Washington with the job that he did with them. I just kind of wonder if he's a little over his skis in SEC. But DeBob, if you're still hanging out, tell me what you think of DeBoer. Give me your 2 cents here, man. Kansas is winning the Missouri game. Kansas is winning. Cal Raleigh is a UT fan. Yes, sir. We got the game coming up a little bit later, but we watch our fair share of college football. Absolutely. Pop X, appreciate the comment, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Missouri right now is getting beat 21-7, I believe. Actually, they're about to make it, I think, 21-13 or 21-14 here. Tennessee up 24-0. And let's see. You know the other thing about this hat that now I'm looking at the Tennessee logo, because everybody always gives me a hard time about the hat looking like Tennessee. It's very subtle, but Tennessee has the curve kind of like the Rangers do on the tee. It ain't boxed like this. The Tennessee tee has a little curve, kind of like the Rangers have it. Honestly, the Rangers tee and the Tennessee tee, besides the color, pretty similar on the shape. But the straight up box tee, UT all the way, Texas, baby. What do we got? Anything else notable? I'm just looking at scores around the SEC, trying to see if there's anything worth chatting about. Missouri just scored, by the way. Florida and South Florida kicking off. Florida's got the ball right now. They are at their own 39-yard line. As a Texas Tech fan, wish we'd schedule more competitive schools in the beginning of the season. Austin, yeah, look, I think it's a catch-22. I mean, there was a lot of talk last year about, what's the benefit of scheduling good out of conference. I mean, yes, it's more exciting for the fans. Yes, there's an argument that it gets you more in tune for big games down the stretch. But, with how many teams make it into the playoff now, I mean, there's a part of you that maybe has that perspective of, hey, we could lose a game and we could still be fine. I mean, think about Texas, right? They lost very first game. And the mantra that I'm trying to champion is, I mean, they're going to be fine. They could probably lose another game and still have a pretty good shot at getting in. You lose 3 games, it's getting dicey. But I think the other side of it is, especially for these teams that are on the fringe, like, I'm definitely not trying to knock Texas Tech here, Austin, so don't take it the wrong way. But I think for a school like Texas Tech, the margin for error getting into the playoff is so thin. Like, do you really want to schedule a brutal out-of-conference gauntlet when if you lose a game and you're a school like Texas Tech, you're probably not making the playoff? Like, maybe you could lose one game, but you got to figure Big 12 conference play, it's going to be tough to run that gauntlet without getting a loss. Why would you want to give up an L in non-conference if you're a team that's not one of the blue bloods of college football? So, Austin, I kind of get it, honestly, from a Texas Tech perspective. If you're Texas Tech, you can probably afford to lose one game. If you have 2 losses and you're Texas Tech, you are not going to the playoff. I think you can lose one game. And so, again, do you really want your one loss to potentially come in out of conference, scheduling one of the top teams from the SEC or Big Ten? I would say probably no. Rangers score prediction, Aiden. I'm going to go 5-2. And, of course, Texas Rangers. 5-2. I think DeGrom gives up 1, and I think he goes 6 strong innings, gives up 1. Bullpen lets in a run, and I think the bats come alive a little bit against Hunter Brown. Austin, yeah, man. I mean, look, again, it's awesome for the sport when non-conference is better, but just for teams that are on the fringe, your Texas Techs, your SMUs, look, it is tough when you're scheduling these non-conference games because if you lose one of them, then you have to be perfect in conference play. And we all know the rivalries in conference play, it's just not a guarantee. So I get it from the Texas Tech side of things. I get it from your side too, man. I genuinely do. All right, let's keep rolling. Over under Jock. Let's see. Is he going to hit a bomb? I'm probably going no on Jock bomb. I would probably key in on a guy like Jake Berger, who's hit Hunter Brown really, really well. I'd probably, if I'm doing a home run prop, I'm probably doing Jake Berger, who has absolutely mashed Hunter Brown. 5 for 7 in his career, 2 bombs. I'd probably go Berg. Hey, Jake, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the follow. I think Arch was better today. I think he's still a little gun shy, throwing the ball down the field, but I thought Arch was better today. I think he's going to continue to get more and more comfortable. Don't love, the fumble. I know we got it back. The interception obviously is what it is. But I definitely think that he looked a little bit better today. I think it's going to continue to look better each week as you build up to SEC play. I'm not worried about Arch. I know that there's this tendency everybody has to really come out with a strong opinion on him. I just think it looks like it should look. He looks like a guy that hasn't gotten to start a lot of college football games. And that's exactly how Arch looks to me right now. I think he is going to be fine. I think that he is going to continue to get game experience. And then we go to Florida. We go to the Swamp for SEC play to open up at the beginning of October. I think he's going to be ready to rock and roll by the beginning of October. Appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. I sure hope he does, Sean. I sure hope he does. It's sad not having Doley for this series. Houston fans are breathing a sigh of relief. They are. Absolutely they are. He don't know how to coach in the SEC. Yeah, look, it's kind of been what really everybody's been saying. Everybody's been saying that about DeBoer at Alabama. Doesn't know how to coach in the SEC. Just, yeah. I think he might be a little bit over his skis at this point. Bennett, hook him, baby. Appreciate you hanging. We're doing good. We're going to wrap things up here in just a second, y'all. Around the league, again, probably the biggest game today, Oklahoma, Michigan. I'll be keeping my eye on that one. We'll probably talk about it during the Rangers game a little bit. It should be overlapping. We will be live later today to talk Rangers-Astros. So if you like Major League Baseball, you like Rangers, you like Astros, whatever, everybody's welcome. But we are going to be hanging out, doing live play-by-play color commentary for the game, and then we'll do our usual post-game analysis as well. So we'll be back probably around 8 p.m. Texas time. It's 3:30 right now in Texas. So, yeah, probably I want to say around 8 p.m. Texas time. We will be hanging out to do the show. Fox game of the week. Love it. Hopefully the Rangers can do well, perform well in front of a national audience. Jacob deGrom does his thing. You'd love to win a series right here, right now. Michigan is 18-2 in the white on May's uniform. Hey, okay. Let's take it. Let's take it. I would love to see Michigan go into Norman and do something special. But that only makes sense. I mean, look, you coming from a diehard Longhorns fan right now. We'll see how that game goes. A lot of people hyping up OU. First big test. And look, I don't think Michigan is, the elite of the elite, but they appear to have a decent squad this year. Let's see if they can go into Norman and get it done. I don't know who's calling the game tonight. I don't know. I would assume it is probably Joe Davis and Smoltz, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably watch. I'll probably turn on the Rangers, guys, honestly. Chewbacca, appreciate you, man. My channel is going to have a good workout between Rangers and Michigan. Absolutely. OU, Michigan, Rangers. I'm going to be flipping back and forth. I'll probably try and go split screen myself just to keep up with that game. I'm interested in it. Of course, it'll be go Michigan for me, even though Michigan and Texas have had their back and forth over the year. I'll definitely cheer for Michigan over Oklahoma. Michigan getting underestimated? I sure hope so. I sure hope so, man. I would love to see Michigan go into Oklahoma, go onto their turf, and shock some people. Bring the OU fans back down to earth. All I've been hearing about is Mateer and the defense and how good they are this year. I don't know. The Tennessee hat crowd, y'all just don't know. Y'all don't even know. I think we broke down the art of the tee, and not quite the same. Not quite the same. But you're going to have to look up. Go look up the Michigan tee, and the Michigan tee, the Tennessee tee, you tell me. It's not even the same shade of orange. Thank you. I got to have a Texas Tech fan backing me up. Sean, that's why you're a real one, brother. Even the Texas Tech fan says that this is not a Tennessee tee. You just don't know the logo, bud. You just don't know. I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. Go look up the Tennessee tee right now. I guarantee it will look different than this one. You just don't know, baby. It's okay. Go educate yourself. Go look up the Tennessee tee right now. Come on. This is an argument literally every weekend. So all y'all that are hanging out, you're going to have to get used to this one. This is a battle we got to fight every weekend. Sean, thank you. You're doing the heavy lifting for me at this point. This is 100% the Texas tee, man. Texas tee is boxed all the way around. Tennessee tee has the curves just like the Rangers tee. That's how I know. And if you go look up the Tennessee tee right now, you will 1,000,000% get yourself educated. The Tennessee tee has the curves like the Rangers tee does. Tennessee tee ain't boxed like this one. Come on, baby. Let's go, Weston. Appreciate you, my guy. Mr. Goodnight, appreciate you, man. We got Arch, but not need one for our tee yet. I don't think Arch is a fraud at all. Guns up for the Raiders, Jamie. We got another Raiders fan, Red Raiders fan in the chat. ZG, appreciate the gift, buddy. Raiders looking good. Red Raiders looking good so far. Now, again, to be fair, let's see them play against a little bit bigger competition, but so far so good. Aggies look really strong. Cam, do they? Do they? I'm sorry. You haven't played anybody enough for me to say they look really good. And I'm sorry, Utah State, you only beat them by 22. You give up 22 points to Utah State at home. I don't know. But you already know I'm an A&M hater. Yeah, you don't have to think twice about that one. But look, I'm sorry. Texas A&M hadn't played anybody. They did not look great in the home opener. You gave up 24 points to UTSA. You only beat UTSA by 18. You only beat Utah State by 22. Let's see how they do against Notre Dame, right? Let's see how A&M does against Notre Dame, Cam. Then I might be able to be a little bit more objective. That's a sick gift, by the way, Jamie. Jamie, you're on fire with the gifts, brother. I appreciate the generosity, man. I hate when people say UT and people say which one. Here's what I say. Hags, here's what I say about that. The only people that think UT is Tennessee are Tennessee fans and rivals of Tennessee. That's it. Nobody else around the country thinks Tennessee when they hear UT. Everybody thinks Texas unless you're a Tennessee fan or you're a rival of the Volunteers. Period. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Hags, it's all love, brother. It's all love, man. Thanks for hanging out on the show. If Texas wins the SEC, Tennessee fans should stop the argument. Shoot, I mean, they were in the SEC title game last year. Where was Tennessee? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's go Rangers. DeGrom Day. Yes, sir. We'll be live later on for the Rangers game. Colorado up 10-0 on Delaware. Oregon up 20-3 on Oklahoma State. Kentucky up 10-0. All right. 28-0 Ohio State up on Grambling. Troy is still beating Clemson 7-0, although that game is delayed. There must be something going on the East Coast right now. Cam, have fun at the game, man. Good to see you. So when'd you go to Texas? Didn't we already address this? Look, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but do we really have to go there with the when did you go here? When did you go to school there? Didn't go to Texas, but I don't understand why people have this thing about if you didn't go there, why are you a fan? That makes zero sense to me. 0 cents to me. But, I mean, look, you do you, I guess. I don't know. Some people got to go to school where they can afford it, where they can make it happen financially, where they get a scholarship, whatever the case may be, man. But I think everybody who loves football grew up cheering for a college, man. I don't know a lot of football fans that as a kid, before they even went to college, they didn't have a team that they cheered for growing up. Almost everybody that I know who genuinely loves the game, before they were 18 years old and actually went to college, you cheered for somebody. So what? I mean, I don't even get that argument at all. But, I mean, like I said, you do you. Grew up in Texas. Don't live there now. Live in Vegas now. Love it here. But grew up in Arlington. Went to Arlington High. Love Texas. Raised there. Spent a lot of time there. That's another thing. You won't even believe some of the stuff that I get. You know, if you don't live in the same state, you can't be a fan, apparently. If you didn't go to the university, you can't be a fan. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. Ohio State owns you? Okay. Okay. You know who owns you guys? Michigan. Enough said. Let me see. What do we got? Anything else? Arch needed a tune-up game. I think he needs a couple. Being a Texas Tech fan but a Chiefs hater is hard because it's hard to root for Mahomes. Yeah, look, Mahomes definitely, when he was with Texas Tech, awesome. Him and Baker Mayfield, that showdown they had, so fun, man. Go back and watch highlights of the Baker Mayfield, Pat Mahomes, Texas Tech OU game. It does not disappoint. Those dudes were slinging it in that game, man. Absolutely. It was the same with Wes Welker. That's right, the Welker days. I kind of forgot about that, honestly. Do I still think that the Cowboys make the playoffs this year? I think it's going to be really close. I've said the ceiling to me is probably 10 wins for the Cowboys this year. Floor feels like maybe 6-11, something like that. I think Cowboys could potentially get as high as 10. I think they're going to be somewhere around probably 8 or 9, if I had to guess. I just think the offense is too good to be like a 5 or 6 win team like some people were predicting. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens, that's for sure. Cowboys are the NFL team, though. GT, appreciate you, man. Yeah, Cowboys are the NFL team. Look, grew up in Arlington, so pretty much all the DFW teams I'm a pretty big fan of. Look, I like following SMU. I like following TCU football. Grew up not definitely cheering against any of those schools. When TCU and Texas were both in the Big 12 together, it started getting a little dicey, but honestly, I enjoy seeing those schools do well, especially now that they're out of conference. So we follow a little bit of everything, but obviously it's Horns, it's Cowboys, it's Rangers. That's probably the primary on this channel. Texas Rangers, y'all see the flag in the background, the hat in the background. So it's a little bit of everything here on the show. We will be live later tonight, by the way, talking Texas Rangers baseball, playing the Astros. So that will be the next time. So if you see me on a little bit later, baseball. Not that we can't talk a little football. I'm sure we'll talk about the Michigan OU game. Make that a part of the show as well. All right, y'all. We are going to get out of here. Yes, I am ready for tonight. GD Cowboy, appreciate you stopping by. I am definitely ready for tonight. Appreciate the follow. Tonight should be great. Hopefully, Rangers get a series win. You got DeGrom on the mound. No excuse to not make it happen. You know what? I know that we said we'd do a preview. Look, UTEP, we already talked a little bit about UTEP. They are haven't yet played, but not a team that I think any of us are really that worried about. You can't take any game for granted, but I'm not sure how worth it is to do an in-depth preview of that ball game. I think we're probably going to save the previews, the in-depth previews for SEC play for Florida in October. I think the Horns, we all know at home, should do quite well against UTEP. Another kind of a tune-up game for Arch Manning and company. That's the plan. Horns win 38-7. Probably left some points on the table. Arch Manning almost goes for 300 yards, throws 4 tutties. Livingstone, Endries, both have 2 touchdowns apiece. The rush attack goes for over 150. Defense shows out once again, only giving up 7 points. It's good stuff. You're probably going to see a lot of Arch Manning hate. It continues to go on and on. At this point, it's a lot of people wanting engagement, but they're just going to continue to be overly critical. The dude started, 4 games now in college football? He's going to need a little bit of time. He's going to be all right. I'm not worried about Arch Manning at all. Hopefully this month of September, he can get totally right, feel super comfortable in that offense, start ripping the ball downfield a little bit more. But I thought good overall game today, things you can improve on. We talked about the penalties. We talked about the turnovers. Definitely some bulletin board material, some things for Sark to get on the team about going into the practice week, which as a coach, you absolutely love. When you get a win, you don't lose, you get a win, but there's many lessons to be learned within the game. So I think it is going to be a good week of practice for Texas. You know that the coaches are going to be going in hard on them, especially trying to get them more disciplined for this next game. I think you're going to continue to see the Texas offense especially look more and more comfortable. Texas defense, I think, already looks real cozy. I mean, they've only given up 21 points in 2 games. I think the defense is probably going to carry Texas more than Arch Manning will this year. I think that you are going to see Arch get a lot of the headlines, but I really do believe the defense is absolutely going to be anchoring this team. They are so good. So good, man. Yeah, look, the spread, I'm not too worried about the spread in games like this. By the way, if you like betting spreads, like 35-point spreads, you have a lot more courage than I do. I am not big on betting these big spreads where it's, 42 and a half, 41 and a half, 37 and a half. I'm just not here for it. Texas, by the way, I mean, I feel like over the last season, they haven't covered the big spreads very well. And it just goes back to what we're talking about. This is a team that is going to play great defense. They're going to control clock. They want to run the ball. They're not a team that is routinely going to win 70-7, man. So I would not be betting Texas in these big spread games. I wouldn't be. Justin, appreciate the follow. Appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, it's just different, though. Skeebs, it's just different. Like FSU, it's different offenses. Texas in the SEC is just not an air raid aerial attack offense. It's different. It just is different. So I know that it's going to be easy to cherry pick some of the other teams around the league jacking up the score. A lot of it has to do with the style of offense. This isn't a hurry up, pass the ball offense. This is a ground and pound, quick, short passes, eat up clock, control it. So you're just not going to see 70-7s as much. It's just not going to happen. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of the day. I'll be on later today. Hope that you guys will join us for Rangers Astros. We'll be live probably in the 8th inning, and we will also cover post-game as well. So come hang out. Really appreciate all the comments today. You guys help keep the show fresh. Everybody that followed today, welcome. You're not going to regret it. It is a great time hanging out for Rangers games, Cowboys games, Longhorns games, little bit of everything here. But look, we don't take any of the support for granted. A bunch of y'all have liked the live, have shared it since you've been on. And look, means the world. Thank you so much. And we'll be back later tonight, all right? Going to go get a little bit R&R here, hang out with the fam, and then we'll be on probably around 8 p.m. Texas time. So come back and hang out again. Boo! Go Rangers. Hook 'em horns. Thumbs down, baby. Thumbs down. All right, y'all. You guys have a good one. We will see y'all later tonight, hopefully. And as I always say, to end every college football show, God bless and hook 'em.